Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at NanoStudio 2 and we're going to do a completely fresh install. So I've installed NanoStudio 2 and I'm going to reinstall it so you can see what you do when you download it and setting it up from total scratch. Okay, so really a guide for beginners. Okay, so because at the moment NanoStudio is on sale for $4.99 for the limited time. So if you were interested in grabbing this most excellent DAW, you can do that. Right, okay, so and we'll talk a little bit about it as we go. So let's just get this started. We'll download this. Initial download size is 268 megs, so that shouldn't take too long. There we go. And once it's downloaded, we can just hit open. And you are presented with three options. Connect to your devices. Yes, that's for your MIDI keyboards and stuff. Send me notifications. No thanks. And would it? Yeah, have to let it access the microphone. Okay. Right. Okay. So now what it'll do is it'll go through all the audio units you have on your iPad. Now this will take some time, so I'll cut this, and I will come back just before it finishes. So see you shortly. Okay, so this is nearly done now, and it will change to a different screen once it's scanned all of your 230 odd, or how many audio units you have on your iPad. Then you'll get to welcome to NanoStudio. So this just quickly tells you what each of these does. Load a demo, save, mix down your projects, got it. Settings, got it. Store, got it. And help. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go to the store to start right now. Some important information here. If you are reinstalling NanoStudio and you've already made some purchases in the past, do not hit restore purchase. There is some sort of bug, and it may not be to do with NanoStudio. It may be to do with the way Apple handle in-app purchases. But do not hit restore purchase because this will not work. What you have to do, now this is the free launchpad. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to restore purchases. I'm just going to, and it's free anyway, but I'm going to hit get, okay? And you'll get your normal purchase screen like this, okay? So I'm just going to double click this to get this pack. And it will say, you've already purchased this. Would you like to get it again for free? Okay, well, it's free anyway, but you know, click OK. And then you're all set. Okay, and what will happen is it will just automatically install here. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with one of the ones I've already purchased, just so you know this works okay. So it will only work if you've already purchased the pack, by the way. Okay, but do not hit restore purchases, otherwise it won't work. You'll have to uninstall NanoStudio and reinstall it. It's just a bug, okay, somewhere. Studio drums, okay. That's a 99p in-app purchase. I'm going to hit purchase, and you'll see it'll say 99p. It's a one-time charge. Now you might get a bit panicky and think, well, is it going to charge me again? If, by the way, it did charge you again, it's more than likely that you hadn't previously purchased it in the past. And if you had, and it still charges you, then that's something you'd have to take up with Apple. Anyway, I'm just going to double-click this little button down here at the side of the iPad. You've already purchased this. Would you like to get a game for free? I'm going to go, okay. Purchase was successful. Okay. And it will install a kit here. If you don't do it this way, if you all of a sudden go restore purchases, try and install and download it, you'll get an error here. Okay. And it's just nothing you can do about it. It just won't work. Right. I'm not going to do any more. Okay, so now you've done that, let's go into settings. And if we look at MIDI settings here and we go to inputs, this is where your keyboard would be. Now, as you saw, this is just a fresh install and it's automatically recognized my KeyStep Pro, my audio interface and all the rest of it. It's recognized in AUM also because I'm using AUM for my microphone. Okay, so that's fine. Let's go to this page here, and this is your main sequencer view. Initially, we'll set up a project exactly the same as this. You'll have a slate drum kit, a deep bass, a strings, and an Obsidian Born Leader. So Obsidian is the synthesizer, Slate is the drum machine. Whichever I select here will be controllable by my MIDI. And you can double tap on this to open the actual drum machine itself. And here you can choose from lots and lots and lots of factory drum kits, and there are loads of them. Okay, so I'm going to just choose this Boulders Brass one. I'm going to double tap it and it will load it. If I wanted to find my IAP, I would go there, and remember I downloaded the free launch pack and also the studio drums. Okay, so that's where you'll find your IAPs there. Like that. Let's go back to factory, and we're just going to stick with this drum kit for the purposes of the demo. Slate is an absolutely brilliant drum machine. I have tutorials on everything for NanoStudio, so if you wanted to learn exactly how Slate works, you can just search for Sound Test Room Slate Drum Machine NanoStudio 2. But you can edit everything. You can go in here to the sample editor and you can import samples. You can adjust the pad settings. You can look at the effects bus. You can look at the output bus. Just loads and loads of stuff. Right. So we've chosen our drum kit. Let's go back to our main screen here. And let's look at this. This is Obsidian. I'm playing my MIDI keyboard. If I double tap on this, it will open it. And it will open the preset browser. If I want to edit the synth, click edit and then go into the synthesizer. If I want to go into the effects node here and add some reverbs and delays and stuff, I can do that there. I can also add AUV3 effects and instruments, which I'll show you as well in a sec. Right, just let's go back here and leave it on that bass. Next one is Super Strings. Very nice. And then we have a lead. So I'm going to add in an AUV3 instrument here now. I am going to long hold this little plus button. Now, for example, if I didn't want any of these, let's say I didn't want this Born Leader, all I need to do is tap the little delete button here and it will delete that instrument. Okay, but I'm going to keep these for now. If I want to add another Obsidian or a Slate, well, I think it will add an Obsidian, but I'm going to tap on this once. And you'll see it adds in 2 Obsidians. I've tapped it twice. Let me tap it again and it'll add another one. If I want to delete this one, hit delete, delete, and delete. If I want to add an AUV3 instrument, long hold, add AU instrument track, double tap on it once it loads. And now you can choose any of your AUV3s you have installed on your iPad. So I'm going to go and find SynthMaster 2, because that's what I want to use. SynthMaster 2, and I'm going to choose this. Now, if I play that SynthMaster 2, right, I can choose presets from here. Or obviously I can go into the instrument itself and go into the browser. I can also just, you see at the moment there's different options. I can see the audio unit and a keyboard. I can just expand this so I'm just seeing the synth. I have this view, which is where you can assign macros, double keyboard view, large keyboard view, etc., etc. And once you're happy, you can go back to your track. Now, it's going to default to 120 BPM. If I tap on this, or long hold this, which is the same screen, this is where I can set up my record options, right? So play, it's 4/4, tempo, you can change here. Tap tempo, you can nudge things off grid. It has MIDI panic here as well. If you want to enable link, you can. This is song loop enabled. This is great for overdubbing drums and stuff like that. So that's, you know, the kind of thing you'd have song loop enabled for, so just go, it repeats and repeats. Metronome, play, off, and level. Let's turn that down a little bit. Then you have your record options. Quantization, I'm going to leave it 1/16. Then this is your like dotted triplet or like straight quantization. Counting, you can have up to 4 bars or none. I'm going to leave this on 1 bar. MIDI record mode, I'm going to have on merge, which means I can overdub MIDI tracks as they're playing through. Okay. Or stop it, go back, press record, and it'll record another track for me over the top of the one that I've already done. So I'm merging tracks. It's all stuff, it's easy. Right, okay, so I am going to just start with putting something down for this SynthMaster. It's going to give me a 4-bar loop point, right? So if I press play here, you'll see it will track across here. It'll get to the end and then it'll jump back to the beginning because our loop point is 4. There you go. I'm going to play this one note because it's an arpeggiator on SynthMaster 2. Okay, I'm going to press record, and as soon as I press record, it's going to give me my 1 bar counting, and then I can start to record. And when it gets to the end, I can let go because it's just going to loop. There we go. Press play, and now I'm not recording anymore and my metronome's gone off. Now this is cool. I can now go to my Boulder's Brass drum kit. I'm going to press record now. Watch my count here. Put that kick in. Okay. Now what I can do, it's still on record. I'm going to add some snare fills in here when it gets back round. So there we go. All right, cool. Let's go back to our main track view now, and you can see. Right, okay. So I want to duplicate these. I'm going to select both of them. So they're both selected. And all I need to do is hit duplicate. If I want to move them around without duplicating them, I can either use this, and that will extend it, but it won't add data in. So, or this, which will, and you see it's merged them there because I've merged on, but that's what you can do. Or you can just literally select what you need, like for example this, and hit duplicate. Another cool thing I like about NanoStudio is, let me pinch this in a little bit. We can pinch and zoom. I'm just going to grab hold of this and I'm going to move the whole thing over. Now I can extend my loop points to whatever I want, but this allows me to set a loop point to record in again at a specific point without having too much problem. So I'm going to set my cursor here, and what I'm going to do now is, first of all, I'm going to edit this MIDI. So select the track you want to edit. I'm going to double tap on it and it'll open the MIDI up. And you see, these are the drums that I put in, but I don't want those drums in this second MIDI clip. Okay. So if I just go back to Songasec, you see, I've got this MIDI clip here where I do want my fill, but on this one, I do not want that fill at the end. So I'm going to double tap on it. I'm just going to select all of them by dragging my cursor over the top of them. And I'm just going to hit delete. And now I'll just be left with this 4 on the floor for this second part, right? So let's just have a quick listen to this. So there'll be no snare fill here when we get to the end. Okay, I'm going to hit record now. And in fact, before I do that, I'm just going to check where my sounds are on my keyboard for Slate. So I'm going to add some snares in. Now I've added snares in. I don't have to stop recording. I can wait till it comes back round, and I'm just going to add some hi-hats in. Okay, cool. Press play to disengage record. I'm going to go into my Slate drum kit here. And look at these. I'm going to go to sample now. Press this one. It's my hi-hat. And my open. Excellent. You can go in and edit this stuff. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself, so. Okay, let's go back here. So now we've got a little drum kit, a little drum beat going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these and I'm going to duplicate those. So now I've got, oh, hang on, what have I just done? Let me just undo. I deleted them. You've got tons of undo and redo, okay? So, in fact, if we long hold this, there's more options as well. So, it's very deep. Let's just duplicate this, move our cursor over here. So we're now working with this section, and we'll add in some strings, shall we? So let's just record them in. I'm going to put that there. Okay. So you must be getting an idea that NanoStudio is pretty easy to get going with. Let's add some lead. Maybe just duplicate this lot again. We're already selected, so it's cool. I'm going to hit record. Stop. Again, just select everything, duplicate. Let's add some bass. Maybe this SynthMaster is bassy enough for what we want. So let's maybe choose another sound for this. Double tap on the header here and we can go and choose some sort of sound. Now we can replace this with an AU, or we can go, well, maybe we want some kind of synth sounds, or I don't know. We could maybe have a look around different parts. Just go and find a sound that you like. So let's leave it at that, save time. So we go back here and we go, right, okay, let's record some stuff in there. And again, maybe you want to like have this track kind of build up, so you could just duplicate this stuff again. So duplicate, there it is. Of course, move your cursor over. So you're just recording in this block, and let's just, I don't know, just record something in. So I made a mistake there. This A should have been a D sharp. So dead easy to edit the MIDI. Now, the mixer. Brilliant. You've got a really great mixer here. Loads of options. We can access the instruments. Okay. We can access the MIDI information on a track level. If we double tap this, you get tons of control. So your MIDI mapping, your ins and outs, your MIDI effects, or you can add audio effects from here as well, sends and returns. I've got videos on all of this stuff. So let us go back to our mixer and add in an audio effect. Okay, so click on here, add audio effect. Do I want to add one of NanoStudio's internal effects like a delay or an algorithm, or add one of my AUV3 effects like, I don't know, let's have a quick look around, shall we? You can, if you, I mean, oh, I've added atomizer now. Let's add in another one. So I'm going to add in an internal delay. Okay, cool beans. Let's have it ping pong. So now you've played around with the effects as much as you like. Okay, we can take that back down now, unsolo it. Awesome. This is your master channel. Let's add in an AU instrument track. And if we go back now, you'll see we've got another track added, as well as 2 default Obsidians. So you can add tracks from the master as well. And that, guys, is basically it. You can get started really quick. It's very fast. That's one of the things I liked about NanoStudio is its actual speed. I can take these out now because I didn't need them. I just wanted to show you that you can add stuff from here. So it's adding long hold. It's the same options. And then you can obviously delete what you've just added, sort of thing. And then all you need to do is go to your project and go save as, and just choose a name, test track, and you're good. You can come back to that anytime you like. It's always a good option to get into saving stuff anyway as you go. Anyway, there you go. It's been a while since I've done a NanoStudio, but I've literally done tons and tons of these. So now you can play it from the beginning. I mean, you don't have to have loop on. You know, you can just let the thing play through and it won't loop. Oh, one more thing as well. Say, for instance, you've gone along and you've done all this and you've got lots of different sections, right? Say, for example, you wanted to go back to a particular section. Select it here and you'll notice your controls will appear. Well, this one here, let's move this along here like this. This is extending, remember? Okay. Let's undo that, what we've just done. And then this one, like that, will actually move. But let's undo that again. So we put it back. But if we hit duplicate, we select it, we hit duplicate, and now we move, it's going to move the duplication over. So now you've moved the entire section over. All you need to do is make sure that you understand how these work, and then you'll be okay. So again, remember that if you just want to move something like this particular row or one particular block of MIDI, you can do that here and then stick it at the end, but don't forget it'll be gone from here. You can just undo this. If you want to duplicate it and move it, hit duplicate. It will already be selected for you. Then you can just grab this one here and then move this one over to wherever you want it, okay? So this is how you can build up songs, and it's really very fast and very simple. Anyway, I'm going to go now, and thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a Patreon. I'll see you later. Ta-ta.